production. Okay, content create. I'm number. It's just me. Numero uno. Okay. So I need to check and see how this is doing. Let me know. Can y'all hear me? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. How do I see my live videos? Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we are gonna talk about the fact that I started working as an RN, a new RN, in my 30s. So I started in my 30s. And I say that to say there are a bunch of people who, we add age to everything. Like, age is everything. Oh, Lord. This whole time. This whole motherfucking time. This is why I say I need a camera. I need somebody. Where they at? Where the camera crew? Where the village? Where the village? Where what? Okay. So I guess I wasn't ready to show y'all what I was working with. So let's talk. Can y'all hear me? I'll work on seeing y'all comments. But starting to work as a RN, a new RN in my 30s, for me, the experience was the experience, especially because when you work as a nurse, I think it's important for you to realize that in order for you to see this as a lifelong journey, and the beauty of what nursing is, it's a lifelong journey. It really is a lifestyle. Nursing, having an RN or LPN, anything in healthcare that you can work different times, work in different settings, all these different things. All of this stuff is a blessing because you have a career. When you have a job, you just stuck to that job. But when you have a career, you can work in different settings. You can work at different times of the day. You could do seasonal work. You could do remote work. There's so much that you can do, especially with the nursing degree, that you have to realize that you are a lifelong learner, and that over and over again, you are going to be placed in situations where you are new. You don't know. You have to sit there and feel or look dumb or ask that question you don't want to ask, or deal with someone's attitude because they're looking at you crazy, or wondering if somebody's judging you because you don't know this, you don't know that. That's how I felt as a new RN in my 30s. Mind you, I had already been an LPN for 8 years at this point. Already worked as a nurse for 8 years, as a nurse, that nurse, YourFavNurseB for 8 years as an LPN. And here I am in the hospital setting looking like situations where I did not know. But for me, you adopt that mindset that you are a lifelong learner. A lifelong learner. And once you adopt that, good morning, once you adopt that mindset, you allow your ego to start to tame itself, because you could think, oh, I'm 10 years in the game. I'm about to be 10 years in the game this month, April 20th. I've been a nurse for a decade. And you be thinking, I don't know this, I don't know that, and I got a new grad RN and know more than me, and this person barely been a nurse for that long. Who cares? At the end of the day, you know that those years meant something because you still been in the nursing game that whole time. You still protected your license that entire time. I still went and did my prereqs. Y'all, it took me 5+ years to do my prereqs, even to get into an RN program. I still had debt, $10,000+ worth of debt that I owed to school. Did not know how that debt was going to get taken care of, but I still did prereqs every single year, paid out of pocket. I did not get any financial assistance while I was paying for my prereqs, setting up payment plans, doing all that, and made 2 babies during that time. Me and my husband had 2 kids, and I kept a marriage going that whole time. And yeah, if you don't know now, you know that's work. Keeping a marriage over that whole time while you in nursing school, not once but twice, 2 babies, like jobs, ups and downs with this and that. And then I'm a product of a single parent home, so I barely even know really relationships and masculine and feminine energy dynamics. I saw it growing up, but I saw it in a fractured state because the man was here, the woman was there, or I saw certain men come in and out of my mom household, and it's crazy. Like, that's a whole other part of life. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say, yes, I was a new RN or a new nurse, so to speak, honestly, in my 30s. But girl, I wasn't getting paid like no new nurse. That was the highest paid I was getting paid when I first started working in a hospital. I got a whole video over it. Yeah, over $50, way over $50 an hour as a new RN. But I had all that experience as an LPN. But here I was still feeling like, dang, I don't know this, I don't know that, or there's certain stuff that I don't really remember. Like like IVs and doing, like I was not good with IVs. I was getting them, but I was like, I always knew the technique. Like you know the technique, but the actual getting it. And I just started following a phlebotomist. I told you, I just started following her and seeing how she did. It was my dang on tourniquet wasn't tight enough. That's like my biggest thing. My tourniquets don't be tight enough. So I started, because I don't want to hurt them. But if you go poke them, you're going to hurt them anyway. So might as well poke them and actually get some blood. So I say all that to say, your ego in certain positions as a nurse, as a healthcare professional, as a career person in general, you may have those times where you feel inadequate, or you feel like, I got all this experience, yeah, now I'm an RN, but I don't feel it. But then honestly, I'd be like, shoot, the check ain't lying. All the checks is clear. What they say, face card never declines. So it's like, it's still, I had all that experience as a nurse, so that I was able to come in at the highest PRN position at my job as far as the pay. And I had the hours that I want to work. I still work the hours I want to work. They decreased our pay because they decreased our commitment. So it used to be you had to work like 2 days a week, had to get the pay. But then they decreased it and they put us as a PRN 3 now. So as a PRN 3, they don't make you work 2 days a week. They make you just come in once, but you get paid less. But it still opens you up to making bonuses, right? So you still make a decent amount of money. So I say all that to say, do what you're gonna do. Stop allowing certain timelines of how old you are and how long it's gonna. Just start doing the shit, bitch. You're gonna still be alive, ain't you? Just start doing it. And sometimes I think the hang up of the time or the process, the journey, stops people, but you're gonna still be on the journey. Like life is not gonna stop, right? So the time is still gonna go by, and even when you do get to certain points in your life, I think sometimes we don't always find the time or the energy to be grateful for where we are. Because when I became an RN, it was so bittersweet. Like I felt proud of myself. I was happy, but I also was like not happy. I was not happy with myself. And it's so crazy because I had worked so hard towards that goal of being an RN. And to get to that point, you're not really happy with yourself, and you're thinking that something's supposed to happen because I became this title or that. That's a weird position to be in. And that's also why sometimes you can't get hung up in what you haven't accomplished or what you didn't get, or you think that, okay, getting this is gonna make me happy, or getting this is gonna make this turn on. But they get what they say, imposter syndrome. Like I said, I still be feeling sometimes like, am I really an RN? Am I really like that skilled of a nurse? Am I really this? Yeah, it's a learning. Healthcare is, you're gonna constantly be learning. Evidence-based practice changes all the time. Nobody knew what the hell was going on with COVID. They were still telling us to wear handkerchiefs on our dang on face. Kind of find out you're supposed to wear a dang on N95 respirator mask. Like they know that. They knew that to begin with, but they was talking about wear a handkerchief. CDC, y'all try to really do us. That's why up in the show, what is it, The Walking Dead, when they was trying to go to the CDC and there was one person there, and then he blew it up. Did he blow? Child. Yeah, I don't know. Well, is that tax I was paying for that? Because you can deduct that. I don't need. They can take it off. No, I don't, it's okay. Get them half of what I gave them last year. Oh. So I say all that to say, let the divine timing work for itself. That's something that I've learned on this journey, is just let the time go. Because honestly, education is a long road. This is why Sagittarius is the 9th zodiac sign. Y'all know I be getting into the zodiacs. I get into the astrology of it all. Of it all. That 9 energy is higher. You at the end, you at the completion. 9 is really the highest number there is. It's not really until you get into the master numbers. But 9 is like the completion. And it's a reason why education, getting your master's degree or PhD, all these things take education is a long road. We be in school for 12 plus years, still don't be knowing shit. Like education is a long road. And for me, I had issues with education early on. I didn't learn how to read until I was 9 years old. Hey, so for me, I feel like the biggest challenge I've ever had was in my education. So for me, being already in my 30s, like, I had a complex about it. I was like, I should have been did this, or I be feeling, like I said, insecure about my skills sometimes. But then, like I said, at least I'm getting paid what I'm worth. I do definitely believe that I knew I wasn't gonna get paid less than what I got paid. Now that's one thing. It's so weird too, because in your mind you're like, do I really have the skills? Do I really have that? But then when it comes down to the come down of, okay, I'm doing this as a job, I need to get compensated for my time, because honestly, yeah, we do a lot of work. I'm just saying that. No matter what your title is, if you're taking care of sick human beings on a day in and day out, you doing a lot of work. That's a lot of work, y'all. Just think about all the things you have to do for yourself. And now, as a nurse, as a CNA, as a tech, as a CMC, as a dietary worker, all these, a lot of your life, a lot of your whole time at work is spent on other people and making sure that in their sickest form, you can get them to have the highest experience, the most exceptional experience or care that you can give them at that time. And you're doing that with limited resources. You're doing that when you feel tired. You're doing that when you just had an argument with somebody, or you're doing that when such and such drops you off and you don't know if they even gonna come pick you up from the job. Like, you doing that when you know you got an exam tomorrow, you know you're gonna mess around and fail this exam. Or you're doing that and you just failed an exam and you about to still gotta go up into this job and work for these people and be somebody's nurse. The work is there, and the fact that we are exchanging time for money, we tricking ourselves off. So I feel like if you're gonna trick your body off, like, Cheryl, I'm gonna get paid. My mama always, now this is sad, I would say that. She said, you gonna be a hoe, don't be a stupid hoe. No, honestly, my mom has literally said that to me. Don't be no $2 hoe. And for me, if you are working, you a hoe. Like, especially as a nurse, because we can allocate our time, we can ration off our time and our skills in so many different ways. You can be a travel nurse, agency nurse, or you could be a PRN nurse. You could be a full-time, part-time. You could be seasonal. Like I said, you could work agency, get in, get out. You can have like 5 or 6 different agency jobs, have a home health little job, have a PRN job at a hospital, be on a travel assignment. All these different things as a nurse. You can be a peds nurse at one moment, ICU nurse at one moment, NICU nurse at another moment, a dang on in a clinic somewhere. Like, there is so much versatility and like nuance to this career and this profession. I believe that one of the best ways to excel is to let go of that ego of feeling like you're better than me, or you this or this title or this and the third. Let it be whatever it's gonna be and just use it to the best of your ability. Whatever time it's gonna take you to do it, do it. Don't feel like you're too old. Don't feel like you don't know enough. Don't feel, just stop with the insecurities and just do the work. Like, that's all it comes down to. Do the work, go to school, do what you gotta do, and make your money. Cause they need you. I be thinking like, oh, I don't know if they're gonna do this, if I can really get ICU experience or not. Man, they need nurses. So, not to say, oh, they need nurses, and they'll take whoever they can get. But honestly, that's what nursing should be anyways. I'll train you. You trainable. All you need to do is be teachable. All this shit is teachable. You already have the license. If you already have the license, child, you already did the work. At this point, it's just you got to show up and show out. And just be who you are. You already a nurse. And once you start getting those certain things in your head, you let go of the insecurities. And as far as like even just starting, it might be somebody right now in their 40s and 50s. They're not even a CNA yet, or maybe they haven't even got their GED yet. Do it. I had to go get my GED. The fact that I'm still saying GED shows you I got my GED. I ain't saying the high set or whatever it's called. I had to get my GED, and this is somebody who went to college when I was 16 years old. I still had to go get a GED because I dropped out of high school. When I say my education experience is so broad and like all over the place, that's just me, I guess. So you can do it. But I said you can do it, put your back into it, okay? You really can do it, y'all, and don't let like time and different timelines and all this and the third get to you. Like I said, I was taking prereqs, y'all. I remember I paid, when I did the math, I was like, I didn't pay like $8,000 for prereqs. I was taking prereqs the entire time. I became an LPN in 2015 when I was 24 years old. I was turning 25 that year. 24 years old, 2015. From 2015, fall of 2015, up until summer of 2019, I believe, I was taking prereqs. At some point, I was not taking it, so for, 2015 to 20, so 4 or 5 years, I was still taking prereqs. Because I didn't start my LPN, my RN, no, 2020, I think I was still doing, I gotta look at my records. But I started my LPN to RN Bridge program in spring of 2021. I graduated as an RN in May of 2022. So I was 32 years old, going on 33. I passed my NCLEX, I believe, in August. So I think it was after my birthday. So I was 33 at the time that I got it, my RN. I started working in the hospital 32. Oh, y'all, 2022. So I turned 32 that year. I started working in the hospital as an RN in 2023. So I was about to turn 33, like the month later after I started working. So, like I said, I didn't not start working until I was an RN in my 30s. So some people, they be like, that ain't too old. Some people like, that's old. Some people, they looking at starting as an RN in their 50s, 60s. And do it. We still need you. The average nurse is like 50-something years old, the age of an average nurse. I got a whole other video I'm working on. But the average nurse is older than millennials right now. Like the largest population of nurses right now is older than millennials. So what they tell you, it's still places where they still want you to come. You still have a skill set when it comes into a classroom. You're way more focused. You're way more intentional. You've been around the block a few times. And more than likely, hopefully, your life is more stable. Your home life is more stable. Or you just have more maturity, or you know what you want at this time. Maybe you paying out of pocket. Maybe this like, look, I got to get through this program. This is my last stretch. I always wanted to be a nurse. I just had a divorce, or I just lost this, or I just had this, or this and the third. I'm doing it. Do you know how much willpower and how much strength it takes for a person in their 40s and their 50s to decide to go back to school? Just the mindset of you having in your mind that I am going to get this career. I got still time to work. I still got about another decade or 15, 20. I could probably put about 20 more years. And you can, honestly, as a nurse. Once you start getting that experience, you can work as a nurse behind a desk somewhere and be good. Be at a clinic or something like that. Give people shots all day and be good. Well into your 60s, 70s. Y'all, I know somebody, she was in her 70s doing MDS, minimum data set. She's like, if I hadn't been able to do this, I don't think I would have been able to stay in nursing, because she was able to sit down. She only had to do a little bit of walking. She would have this little cart. She would put chart. Well, we had paper charts. Child, they have to go through the paper charts and skim through and make sure everything is in there. That we need, all the paperwork, everything is up to date. So they would go through all of this stuff, and she would have a little cart pushing it around. She was way into her 60s, probably pushing 70s. So it's possible. Even if you work as an RN or as a nurse for 5 years, this is something you want to do with your life, go for it. Too, that's another thing. Like, yes, the money is there, and yes, the title, but if this is something you want to accomplish with your life, do it. Whatever it is you want to do, the time is of that fucking essence. Ain't that what they say? So do what you gonna do, baby, to get it done. And I can say this when it comes to my education, because when I do want to do something with school, I know how to buckle down. I know I will always say this, y'all. I don't know if I ever told y'all this. I don't consider myself smart. I consider myself a hard worker when it comes to my education. I believe that smarts will take you there. It will get you there. But without the work ethic, without being able to overcome adversities, because so many adversities will come to you while you're in school. And this is why being older and more mature in school helps you, because you understand adversities. You understand that things are going to come at you, and you still have to have discipline to sit down and study for that test. You still have to have the discipline to not go out with somebody or to not go watch that movie. Sometimes you have to have the lenience with yourself to say, I'm done studying. I'm about to sit. It's been times I had a test that next day, and my husband was like, let's go to this movie. And I'm like, I'm studying while I'm in the car, and at one point I just put down my flashcards and I'm just enjoying my night. It's times when you got to learn to start discernment to do that. So I don't even know what my original thought was, child, but this all takes work. It takes effort. Yeah, so I'm saying I believe I have the work ethic and the discipline when it comes to my education, because it did not come easy to me. Like I told you, I did not learn how to read till I was 9 years old. I was not a good reader. I was in like first, second, third grade, still going down to kindergarten class to get like rudimentary, like basic arithmetic, right? Reading and arithmetic. I was getting basic reading skills. Like I was so out of it. I went from that to dropping out of high school and going to college at the age of 16 years old. I was able to go into college at the age of 16 years old from that. And it took, I feel like, I was still in public school education. Then I went to a better school. I started to see people around me doing better with school. I started to see people on the honor roll, and I was like, I could do that. I want to do that. I got on the honor roll. Like, And in my mind, I was like, I know I could do better. I had, like, I think 2 to 3 AP classes once I got into high school, but I wanted to go to the hood, child. So I decided to leave the good school district I was in. I took my butt to the hood because I wanted to be in the hood. And from being in the hood, even from being in the hood, look up Vashon High School. It's like 1 out of 10. Look up Vashon. That's where I went. You from the loop, you know. I went to Vashon. And still, even from Vashon, I was able to go drop out of there and go to college at the age of 16. So this is something I feel like I put in the work because it did not come easy to me. And that's when you really break it down, the stuff that don't come easy to you, that you got to put the work in, you always become the best at that. You always excel because you're putting in intentional work. And so for me, that's what's important to my education. I was from the 90s. We always was taught education. You need to get an education. Knowledge is power. Like, that was always pushed on us. And I'm grateful that I use that to put myself in a position where I get a career and going to get these titles and whatever, this education that's worth it. Because honestly, at this point in the day, no matter what education, knowledge, it's always free knowledge. I'm giving y'all free knowledge now. It's always free knowledge out here. But to get the credentials and the licensure and the diplomas and all that, and something that's actually gonna make you some money, that's where the damn real plug is. That's where that's the hack. Is to still get, when they say, don't go for your plan B, just go for your plan A. If you got a plan B, your plan A isn't good enough. Man, what they always told you, they say you want to be an artist, or you want to be this, or you want to be that. And your parents always be like, what's your plan B, child? What, you got to have plan B. I know you want to do that, but what's your plan B? And I think in some ways that because you got to think, if you're born in the 90s, then you got all Capricorn in your chart. If you're in Western astrology, look it up. We got all Capricorn in our chart. So things take time for us anyways if you're born in like the early 1990s. The early 1900s. So you already got a lot of Capricorn in your birth chart. Just look it up, child. And that puts us there where we have to do the work ethic. But I'm going to look at some of y'all comments. But I just say that, like, if you're going to do anything, at least have a career where you can make some money. And I feel like nursing, healthcare is cool because you can see so much, you can learn so much. And it's so much with nursing. You can just use that to leverage other careers. Like, I have a video with Carl Pierre. His YouTube is ENTP Life. If he still goes by that name, I need to look it up. But I got a lot of videos with him. Brown skin, Haitian dude. He Haitian. He first generation Haitian. Like, if you see him in the video, that's one of his videos. He was a radiology tech, and he leveraged the hours that he could work with that to go ahead and get into real estate, because he's like, I know I can make money off of this. He said, use that to be able to, to fund another career or another hobby or another endeavor. And I think nursing, healthcare is a very honorable profession. So also, I know I can go home and go to sleep knowing that what I did something for somebody. It still fulfills me in a human to human way. I know that I'm doing something that is of purpose. I believe is of purpose, even though when you're doing it, you are feeling like crap because maybe the odds are against you. Because with nursing, like, we have a lot of shit we got to overcome. Not having enough people, not enough resources, patience is draining you, the family is draining you, the ASCOM is draining you, the Pixis is draining you, and you ready to eat, and you cold, and you mad, you don't want to be here, okay, I want to go home, but you get through it, and you do what you gotta do. So I'm gonna look at these comments. Hi, I just wanted to say thanks to you. I have been watching you for years, and it took me several tries, but I finally was accepted to nursing school for the fall. This was I'm 43, but everything happens on time. This is EMC experience. Congratulations. I think that's so awesome. That's so awesome. So did you already do all your prereqs and everything? Nurse goes 24/7. I just started my LPN to RN Bridge, completed the Bridge class now in the ooh, girl, you're gonna be done. Thank you. Welcome. Thanks for the inspiration. You welcome, Nurse Goes. That's exciting. So you just completed it. So did you start this spring, and then over the summer you about to do, like, how many weeks is they doing it? I think LPN to RN Bridge programs are amazing. I'm so grateful I did it that way, because I paid $0 and 0 cents to do my LPN to RN Bridge. And it was so fast, y'all. And, like, to see once you merge into the class as an LPN, and you see the people who are going to get their RN, but they not nurses yet, it's cute. It's like, aw. You feel like a senior in the class, but then you still gotta learn what they could. Because I was like, China, it's RN now. I'm an LPN. I still gotta pay attention. They always be like, LPNs, you gotta start thinking like that. You gotta start. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on, y'all. Christine says true concepts too. I mean, obtaining the credentials in RN is experience, yes, in itself. So obtaining the credentials as an RN is an experience in itself. I'm not currently a nurse, but I recognize the training is extensive. That's my focus. Yes, it is extensive, and you learn more and more about yourself and what you bring to the table and what you're made of when you seek higher education. I believe that's the nugget too. That's the hack as well, is that learning that school, just like how they say, I don't need to do this math, I don't need to do all that. Sometimes you don't realize certain things about your parents or about your kids until they get into school, when they start to be around adults and other children, and they start to have their own like experience and things like that, and you start to see maybe what they say or what they do and how it might be a reflection of you or your home or something like that. You don't really see it, so they get into school, they have to interact. So there's always a human exchange and a social component when it comes to education as well. Even though sometimes nowadays a lot of stuff is online, but you learn about yourself as a person, because it takes discipline, it takes time, it's delayed gratification. Some people are in school for 4+ years. Some people in school for an entire decade and still ain't making no money off this shit. You imagine doing something for 10 years and you still ain't getting no money off of it. And then once you start doing it, you're gonna be making like $30,000-$40,000. You're gonna be making like minimum wage, basically, especially in some of these states that you gotta live in as like a doctor or something like that, somebody with a PhD degree. And then finally the money started coming in. And then it's still so much responsibility on you now too. Yeah, you're making the money, but dang, you got all this responsibility. It's taking up all your time still. So just think about that. Just think about that. You learn about yourself. You see who you are as a person. You see how your life is either supporting or hurting what you're working towards. You see if the people in your life are supporting or helping. It's similar to how people say once you start losing weight, you see who your real friends are, or people will stop talking to you, or people will try to sabotage your weight loss or something like that. It's true, y'all. People will try to sabotage you once you're working towards your goal, because you are shifting the ground around there. You are moving furniture in their life because they see you going every single day, every single week towards this class, towards this goal, studying, saying no, creating boundaries for yourself, working and building up yourself, focusing on something, being intentional about something, having that drive, that determination, that even though it's not in your hands right now, you have the faith and you know that the work that I put in every single day is getting me to my goal. No matter what you do, when you have that in your life, whether it be towards anything, you moving furniture in your life, and the people in your life will either have to pick up some shit and go and keep it pushing with you, or they gonna be sitting there rattling around, moving like, well, hold on, what about this? What about that? I said you, I thought you, I don't know. This is why sometimes marriages start to shake up once the woman or once the spouse or whatever decides to do something that's so different from out of their norm. People do not like change. We are creatures of habit. And once you start to see that the things in your environment, the people in your environment start to change, you have to either do what? Change, or be in that situation of uncomfortability or uncertainty when that person's changed. Because now you know when that person changed, that person might see you differently. They might try to make you do something. They might look at you a certain way. Or you looking at yourself like, should I be doing this? What else can I do? I ain't doing it. Well, let me get up and do something. And that's a good thing. That's how it should be. But not everybody be rising to the occasion, honey. They don't be rising to the occasion. I'm going to move on. That was a word for somebody. Somebody need to hear that. So that's me. No nursing background. I think the BSN route can be a bit expensive. Facts. If you're going straight for BSN, have somebody else pay for it. Be like a new high school student. As I think high school students, y'all need to bank off of that BSN the most. Get you a scholarship somewhere, do your prereqs, start doing your prereqs while you're in high school, do dual enrollment, and get it done in like 2.5, 3 years, y'all, and be done. Have them pay for your full BSN, get the whole college experience, and go on about your business. That's the way to do BSN. But as an adult learner and paying out of $50,000, $60,000, hell, I ain't doing all that shit. I'm not paying no $50,000 for nothing. Maybe for the CRNA. For a doctorate degree, but not for no bachelor's degree that's gonna pay me 50 cents more than a regular associate's degree. Man, chaplain. Okay, so let's see. That's my mindset now. I'm 46 and have been a CNA, PCT for 20+ years. I'm wrapping up my prereqs. That's what's up. Gone focus. You wrapping up them prereqs to get into that nursing program this year. Yeah, being a CNA hard while in nursing school is a very smart move, because you can have flexibility in your schedule, get more pay like an agency CNA, and work less hours. And if you call off, child, you call off. It is what it is. You can't pick up a shift, don't pick up a shift. You got flexibility. I like LPN first. I think that's good. It is good. I think nurse goes. Hello from California. Hey, Kelly. I've been an LVN for a year and got into the RN for a semester. Yes, that's what's up. And you in California, girl. Make that money. Don't let it make you. Go on, Kelly. Make that money. You got that California license. Thank you. Thanks, Tara. Thank you, Nurse Goes. I wanted advice. I already have a bachelor's, but honestly, that ABSN is too expensive. The accelerated BSN is too, girl. I don't know. Just maybe if you do your prereqs and then you can just jump into. Don't do your prereqs at that nursing program. Do them if you still have nursing like science, because sometimes depending on what your degree was in, your bachelor's in. Les and Gordon, depending on what your, or lease like Reese with the L and Gordon. I'm gonna say that L and Gordon. Say that your bachelor's like in art or something like that. You probably ain't got no science and math classes, child. So do your science, those math classes, those soft and hard sciences, those English, whatever you gotta do. Do that at like a community college for the low. Get as many in a semester as possible. Pay it off. Get on a payment program, something. Pay it off, and then pay it in cash flow it, and then start to, while you're doing that, look at some BSN programs. Sometimes I maybe look at like an accelerated BSN program and see like Capella or something like that might have it where it's cheap. It's cheaper. I don't know, you have to look into it, but some of those schools might have it. Or just do some research, because sometimes you can do those accelerated bachelor's programs online and you don't have to necessarily be in the state. So look up like the cheapest programs in the US, see if you can maybe do their online program or something like that. Or sometimes they have you go to clinical sites like in your area. Like they find ways to make it work, because they had this with some other things I've been looking at. But look and see if you can kind of see cheaper options in that way, in that regard, like in the South or something like that. And you probably have to get your license there. I don't know, you got to do your thing, but you might be able to finagle some things. But do them prereqs at a community college for the low, pay cash for it. And while you're doing that, start to see where your options are across the U.S. online for those accelerated programs. Or in your area, the cities might be more expensive, but you might see there might be counties around you or areas around you that's a lot cheaper. And I've done that with the LPN and RN. It was like thousands of dollars cheaper, but I would have to drive like an hour away from my house. But I was like, it might be worth it, but I had little kids at the time, thinking about the weather and stuff like that. But it all ended up working for me. I went to a community college right in my dang on 10 minutes from my house, and my kids went to daycare at the community college for free. So for the low, it wasn't free, it was for the low. But anyhow, it's options out there. Just look at your options, but be smart and just plan it out. I'm sure you can do it. I'm sure. I have a ADN, I have an associate's degree. I graduated from my LPN. That's only 3 months. Go on, QP. That's what I'm talking about. Who you gonna you're gonna be part of like the new grads that can come in and really hopefully get some good stuff. Get you a little sign-on bonus, and not even a little, try get you a big sign-on bonus. And have them pay for your LPN to RN once you get into that, your job that you're going to now after you, graduate. I knew you was gonna go further. All right, y'all. So I actually had work today, so I need to get off of this phone with y'all. Literally, I'm on the phone. I need to get off this phone with y'all. Quit playing like I ain't gotta go to work. I'm about to take all this makeup off. I feel like maybe I could just go to work with this, but I don't want to go to work with makeup on my face. I just feel like I can't do it. I'm gonna still wear my hair wrap. We still doing the head wrap. I just want to pull it down. I like covering my ears. I like having my ears covered. I love y'all. I'm about to go. Let me know what y'all think of this, discussion that we had. Are you in a position where you kind of feel like age or time gets to you? It's life. We just here living, y'all. Don't let the internet fool you. Everything takes time. Everything takes energy. This is like, it is what it is. You're going to get to where you're going to get to, child. It's just all, it is what it is. You're going to get to where you're going to get to. and just ask for clarity and discernment in your journey. Just put it out there. Thank you for the clarity and discernment in my life, and you will be put in a position you need to be in. Y'all trust. If I ain't no dang reflection of trust the process, I just told y'all my whole life story when it came to my education. Girl didn't know how to read till she was 9, was still able to go to college at the age of 16. So, and then my insecurities came and I was like, oh, I'm still not working. It took me until my 30s to become a nurse. I should have been done with this. I started college when I was 16. So what? So what? So what? It's just part of the journey. We all even think we gotta be perfect. We gotta fit some quota or something. What the wheel in the sky keeps on turning. Like, life keeps moving on. Like, stop. Yeah, let that time stuff get away from you. Don't. Because all it's gonna do is take up time and energy from you. Just keep moving forward. My husband is so good at giving advice with this. He'd be like, you know, he'd be like, I feel like I should. So I'm not gonna let, because my husband is in school now, so he's been in school for about over a year. He's like, I'm not gonna let that me going into school in my 30s. You know, I'm not gonna let that get to me, or not really starting a career into my 30s, and I'm not gonna let that get to me. He said, I'm glad that I'm not gonna do it in my 40s. He's thinking, okay, in my next chapter of life, my next decade of life, I'm not gonna be going through the same things I'm going through right now. I'm being in a different position, and I can appreciate that because his perspective on it is like, I feel like that is how it should be. Is your next chapter gonna be better? And my sister always said, make your next move your best move. That's that Capricorn energy, baby. She got moved in Capricorn. Make your next move your best move. And stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready. That's what, with me, I had $10,000+ of debt to pay to a school. Did not know how that debt was gonna get paid. They was holding my transcripts. I could not go to anybody's RN program without them transcripts. They was holding them, had a death grip on them for about $10,000. But I still was taking nursing prereqs for a nursing program. I was doing stuff for BSN programs, y'all, for 4+ years, almost 5 years doing that. Really 5 years of in school, made 2 babies, did all of that. Did not know how that money was going to get paid off. Did not know if and when my transfers were going to be released so I can get into an RN program. But as an LPN, I put it in my heart. I had it on my mind. I put it on my heart and my mind to do it. So I stayed diligent and got them damn prereqs done, y'all. And there's a lot of prereqs. Prereqs I didn't even need. But I was looking at like 4 or 5 different schools and saying, I wanted to cast my net wide. Okay, at least I have prereqs for this school, prereqs for this school, paying out of pocket for this stuff. When I looked at it, I said, I could have paid the school off by the time I did this. Paying out of pocket. And like I said, we end up having 2 babies back to back. My kids only 16 months apart. Had 2 babies back to back during this time, still doing prereqs. I was pregnant and in school and didn't even know it because I was pregnant, working nights, in school, doing prereqs. Did not know I was pregnant. That's how much I was focused on my goal. God put it on my heart and my mind to be focused on what I'm doing. Spirit put it on my mind to be focused on what I'm doing. So when I say be intentional, do what you got to do, just do it. If you feel it in your heart to do anything, you have to just do it. Just put in the time. In school, I think it's so easy because they tell you everything you got to freaking do. They literally lay down the blueprint. It's the blueprint. They tell you, you need to have these classes, get these grades, and it's going to take, and you could do it this way. It could take this long, it could take that long, it costs this much, do it. Boom. That's, to me, it made common sense. It don't get no plain and simple than that. So if you want to go to school, that's the easiest thing you can do, y'all, is go to school. We went to school for 12+ years. We know how to go to school, damn it. All right, I love y'all. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Go get your education, get your title, do what you got to do, honey. Okay? And that's coming from YourFavNurseB. I love y'all, love y'all, love y'all, love y'all. Bye.